I don't remember if I said I was gonna play Kirby next, and if I did, I have changed my mind because I have just gotten back from, well, just as no, I think the right word. It's been a few days. I am back from my vacation, and I figured that I'd probably be talking more about the vacation and stuff, and a few other things when I get back. Especially considering now that today is the day that Legends ZA comes out, and I'm gonna be out of the loop for a little bit. I've tried muting as much as I could on Twitter, and I still failed. Now, granted, I have only seen one new mega, and it was the one I was already spoiled on before, so who cares? And I have seen about 3 hours of gameplay because a friend of mine insisted that we were together during his first few hours, his first impressions. Good news, the game is automatically better than Scarlet and Violet by default. But, yeah. I decided that ultimately I would do a stream of Dudunsparce because this is generally the stream where I kind of talk things over. And plus, one final goodbye to the Scarlet and Violet before I move on to Legends ZA next week. Because let's face it, this will probably be the last time I actually boot up this game for. I don't know. It depends on whether or not they do another 7-star Terra thing. But if they don't, then this is kind of it for a while. But because I don't think I'm gonna need filler for a while. So, you know, we might not have a need to see Dunsparce anymore, which is kind of sad. But, assuming we don't get the 3 segment tonight, Dunsparce will be back eventually. For those of you who are still interested in this, especially because this is the more chill, laid-back streams. But, you know, in case it doesn't happen, then, well, whatever. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and make my first sandwich. Put your hand in. I have with me my friend Orthworm, because while on vacation, they fixed the bug where you couldn't do the Scarlet Roaring Moon raids online. And of course, they fixed it after I'm already out, and I'm gonna be. I tried to do it with the hotel Wi-Fi. I tried, but the hotel I was in had one of those like sign-in websites where like you try to access a thing, and it's like you need to be authorized, I guess, and you're given a password to it when you enter your hotel room. And you try to connect, it sends you to this little, like, I don't think proprietary is the right word for it, but they have their own little site for it that automatically loads. 2 sofas. And we'll do a mix. No, I said a mix. I pressed up. But, it worked just fine on my phone. But, however they made this site, it does not work on my Switch. So I literally could not connect to the internet on my Switch with the hotel Wi-Fi, which sucked. However, I remembered that I'm able to make a mobile hotspot. So I had my Switch connected to a mobile hotspot I made for like 10 minutes just so I can get that done. And then I saved, I left it, and that was just kind of it. So I have the Mightiest Roaring Moon. Okay, I'm guessing that was Maridon at the same time the bread was appearing, because that's not the normal sound effect. It's supposed to go. Could have been Orthworm, I don't know. It was definitely a Pokemon. That was not bread. I know what people are gonna say. What about Fido and Darkspawn? They're bread. I don't have money right now. It could not have been then, unless like that gag would work better if I used my webcam, and I'm not gonna. But imagine me slowly turning around and there's a whole bunch of dogs behind me. But I had to use a mobile hotspot to get the Roaring Moon stuff done. Because they fixed it while I was out, which was something I hoped they wouldn't do, but they did. And I still have not properly built anything for the Iron Valiant one, and because I have not connected to the internet on this thing since, it is still on my system so I can get it whenever I want. And I'll probably do it right after stream today, because the game's already open. Might as well. So, yeah. Assuming this is the final set, and I would not be surprised if it is, that would mean that across the entire time that Scarlet and Violet has been a thing, I've only missed 2 Terra raids. Napoleon, because they changed the scheduling format, now I was thinking I would do it the second week, and I was not able to. And Garchomp, which I didn't even know was a fucking thing. I was able to get some satisfaction in the fact that I was able to trade for one. But Empoleon is still missing at the moment. Maybe someday I'll rectify that, but no. It's been a bit hard. Maybe they'll rerun all of them, but I doubt they will at this point because Legends EA is out and they're doing the whole thing. Which, by the way, I now have confirmation on how the starters are going to work for their Megas, the Gen 6 starters. Unfortunately, it's not a participation trophy. You do have to try. Because starting from rank Z, you have to get all the way up to rank K. About 2/3 of the way up the line. And granted, once you reach there, you automatically get the Mega Stone immediately. So that's good to hear. You don't have to worry about somehow lowering your rank by idling. Like, oh, I got to rank K, now I can just sit and wait. It gives you the Mega Stone immediately upon reaching rank K. So that's good at least. But God, why rank K? Why rank K? That sounds like it's gonna take forever to do. And I'm already starting off with a disadvantage because A, I'm getting the game a week later than everyone else. And B, because the game leaked, the game was out for a few days before the game came out for everyone else. So those people already had maxed out Pokemon. So I'm gonna have a fucking struggle getting Greninja-ite? I think that's the first one. If I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Especially because I'm going to be streaming all my time playing Legends ZA, meaning I'm going to have to get a team together to do well enough to battle within like the first couple weeks of me playing. Because I think the first season ends on November 5th. So that would mean I have like, what, 2 weeks to prep? Maybe. So it's going to be kind of close. But I already said that Legends ZA streams are probably going to go a little longer because normally I stream around 2 hours. But if streams like Mario and Luigi Brothership have taught me anything, it's that that's not necessarily a guarantee. I still remember playing through Sonic Frontiers and I went on for way longer than that at certain points. Like, wasn't there one stream that went on for 6? I think I wanted to try to end the game that stream and it just took forever to. Same thing kind of happened with Mario and Luigi, but I think that was 4 hours? I'm going to try to aim for 3. I'm going to try to aim for 3 hours at a time. It might take a little bit... Might be a bit longer than that. Depends. I'll tell you that, though my friend was skipping text boxes, in terms of the main rank stuff, which is separate from the online ranked, within the first 3 hours, he was able to get to rank X, so he got to the first couple of ranked things. On the story mode, by the way. Just to reiterate, story mode, not online. He did that in 3 hours, and he was kind of messing around a little bit, as much as the game will let him, because it does try to railroad you really hard early on. So the first stream's gonna be a bit railroady, but I should get around that far. In the next stream, I should probably be at a spot where I'll probably have at least level 20 Pokemon. Which, again, isn't great, mind you, but assuming they set all your levels to level 50 by default,
might be enough to start the climb. We'll see. So despite my attempts to mute all of the keywords, some it still slipped through. But I did see some discussion about it. And someone was able to get to rank K within 10 battles. But that's because the game's just come out. There's not that much competition. People are kind of trying to get it done early, I suppose. It's questionable how easy of a time the person had then. It's going to be a lot different when more people get their hands on it, because now the game's officially out. People are buying it in stores. And I'm hoping I'm able to pick up a physical copy this weekend. Because if not, uh-oh. But, I'm just gonna have to hope there are enough physical copies here, because this is my first time actually getting a Pokemon game physically. I got Scarlet and Violet. I got Violet, not Scarlet and Violet, just Violet, digitally. So I wanted to be like immediately in and all that. I'm going physically this route because A, I want to actually feel like I properly own the game. B, I don't give a shit about the 100 bonus Pokeballs. My friend apparently did. But it's Pokeballs. They're not hard to get. And there's an NPC early on in the game who picks up Pokeballs where you miss. So, like, I'm probably not going to run too low for most of the game. So I'm not too worried. So, yeah, I'm gonna hope there are still copies whenever I, go out this weekend. Which, coincidentally, is gonna be a Mega Rayquaza raid day again. They do those just once a year, it feels like. And, Pikmin Bloom Community Weekend. They call it Community Day, but it takes place on both days of the weekend now. It's been like that for over a year at this point, I think. So it's hard to really call it a community day anymore. It's weird. I also was able to get some confirmation because my Twitter view was not good enough. That shinies are luckily how they are in Legends Arceus. It plays the jingle when they spawn. And they're a lot more obvious when you get close. So, you know, no more squinting. I can kind of relax a bit if I do shiny hunting in that game. Thank God. Thank God. So that's a bit of a relief there. Don't have to worry about like paying really close attention. So I think shiny hunting is going to be a little bit more chill in comparison to stuff like this. I'm going to have to focus on the screen the entire time, and I can't really risk turning and looking at chat too often. Because I might miss a shiny. Might get away from me. It also doesn't persist when a Pokemon spawns, because you can swap it from night to day, day to night. You can leave and come back, and you can get personally knocked out and run back, and the shiny will still be there. But there are shinies that will attempt to run from you. Pokemon like Esper will attempt to run, so this might be the time where I get my first proper shiny fail. I'm not counting anything in the Fire Red streams that I regret, because, you know, I had to emulate to get those to be recordable, be streamable. And I use save states because I got to the point where it's like, I asked like, hey, because it's so early on, would you be okay with save states so I don't run out of Pokeballs? Because I've not gotten to a point where I can get infinite money, and I had like 10 Pokeballs to my name, and I go through like 5 areas, and it was just not worth it, you know? And then this game, you can save, so if you fuck up, you can just reload, and I'm presuming that's the case with this game as well. Because it worked when I was getting the shiny Koffing back during Teal Mask. Because that exploded a few times during my attempts to catch it, but I was able to catch it. I have not failed a shiny yet. ZA may be my first, and you know, once the first happens, then I can kind of relax a little bit. Because I have not experienced Safari Zone hunting personally, where you see a shiny and then the Pokemon runs away and then you gotta wait like 5 hours to even get a shot. Maybe. It's not. I have not had that kind of moment yet. I have not failed a shiny personally, but I know it can happen in Legends ZA with some Pokemon. So it's gonna have to be. There's gonna be a point where the Band-Aid's gonna be ripped off, and there's nothing I can do about it. But we'll see. I'm also going to guess that these starters are once again shiny locked because, god damn it, we're just never going to have unlocked shiny Pokemon stuff again. I guess the starters are going to be just the plain ones forever, and unless there's some way to catch the others in the wild, you'd have to transfer the shinies in from other games, and then they're stuck there. Which is a little bit unfortunate. But I can just get the shinies of the starters in this, at least. And besides Chikorita, I have the full shiny line and go anyway. Chikorita is the only one where I don't even have one. I did not play that com day because I don't think I played Pokemon Go back then. And I don't think they've rerun it. I don't think they've done a com day classic with it. And I just have not been lucky from there. So, oh well. Maybe during this Legends ZA celebration event they're doing right now, maybe I'll get one. But, if that doesn't work, all the starters are in this game, so I can shiny hunt here. That's good. I'm gonna do my best to dodge as many spoilers as possible, and I've done a very bad job this time because I finished this and I watched his first few hours. I kept saying, I should stop here, and he would not. I think that both of us were just too excited, though, so I'm not gonna fully blame him. Like, as for which starter I'll pick, honestly, it came down to Totodile or Tepig, because I was not picking Chikorita. I don't really like Chikorita at all. But it came down to Tepig or Totodile. Now, normally when I play Pokemon, I pick the water starter. It's been a notable trend. And if this was Gen 2, I probably would pick Totodile. But Tepig is here. And for Black and White, with Gen 5, Tepig's my favorite of the three. I do enjoy Oshawott, don't get me wrong. I like Oshawott a lot. But I think I like Tepig more. So now I've got myself into a bit of a conundrum, where do I stick with the water starter like usual, or do I go with the fire starter, which it's not like Tepig that much, you know? I think ultimately I'm picking Tepig. I'm not saying that picking the water starter would be a mistake. I'm not saying I even made a mistake in this game by picking Quaxley. Even though Skeletor is one of the best starters to ever fucking exist. But, honestly, I want the pig. I may associate Totodile with a Stitch voice. Have him talk like this. Yeah, it's me, Totodile. Look at me. I'm the cute crocodile thing. Look over here. But, I like the pig. Plus, I've heard reactions. I've not seen the Megas, mind you. But I've heard people say that Mega Feraligatr looks like shit. It's very divisive. A similar kind of divisive to the Quaxley line, honestly. And I do like Quaxwell, mind you. So maybe I will like Mega Feraligatr when I do see it. But I'm gonna be picking Tepig. So my starter Mega for now is gonna be M4. I'm hoping I can at least get the Mega Stones for the other two. But I mean, perfectly honest here, I'm gonna be sticking with M4 personally. As for my friend, he chose Totodile instead of me, so neither of us wanted Chikorita. So yeah, I'm gonna be at a bit of a disadvantage if we do head to head, but there's also a new type of battle for us because I think he would have the advantage. A, he's already started playing, and B, he was really excited about the dodge roll specifically. So I think he likes these types of games. Like real-time battle stuff, you know? Where you're more involved. So I think he's gonna have a bigger advantage anyway, regardless of typing. So like I can generally beat him with traditional battles, given how Pokemon Showdown stuff's gone. But I think with this new system, I'm screwed. Because, like, I have not played games like Dark Souls, or maybe this can be more comparable to, like, Xenoblade. I have not played Xenoblade. So, you know, he might have the edge on me in this one. It's also why I'm kind of worried about the rank K stuff for Greninja, because, whoa. Whoa. That's gonna be awful if I'm not used to the gameplay style. I hope it's somewhat easy to learn. And given the supposed target audience that this fucking series is failing to hit, I think it will be generally easy to get into. Hello, Dudunsparce. Nice shiny. But you never know. Also, personally, before I finish up, before I even start Legends DA, I told myself that in my own time, because I'm not streaming it, in my own time, I'm going to be finishing up Tears of the Kingdom. Because I got Tears of the Kingdom as a Christmas gift a while back, played it for a couple months, but burned myself out on it. So I just played it way too much, I guess. And the fact that I'm streaming Legends DA, that's not going to be a problem this time, because I'm spacing it out more. But I burnt myself out on Tears of the Kingdom, and I have not played it in months. I have gone back to it. I just finished up the Lightning Temple, and did the rest of the stuff with the tier memories. Zelda's a dragon now. I guess. But, I still have the Fire Temple, and whatever stuff pertains to the end game. Kind of funny doing all the memory stuff first and then going to Fire Temple, because you see this backstory where Zelda turns herself into a fucking dragon so she can repair the Master Sword and send it to you in the present time, because she's like 500 years in the past or something. And she has no idea how to travel forward with her power, so screw it, Immortal Dragon. Lose oneself or something. The tears we find are her tears, because she's sad that she has to fully change herself permanently, supposedly, to give Link a chance to beat Ganon. But it's funny seeing all that start to play out, and then you see, supposedly, Princess Zelda, as her normal Hylian form, giving this Goron president a mask that possesses him to force all the other Gorons to eat this really weird rock meat. It's like rock roast or something. And then you break the mask in a battle, he joins you, you have to Death Mountain, and she's there, and she supposedly jumps in, you follow her to the Fire Temple. Like, I know that's not her, game. I've already been made aware that Zelda's a dragon now. You don't even need to try this sort of thing. That's the problem with open world games. If they don't railroad you super hard like Legends EA seems to be doing in the early game, if they don't railroad you super hard and force you into certain directions, which at that point you're not really playing open world, if you do certain story things in the wrong order, things just stop making sense and the impact is not felt at all. Because, like, I was being fairly diligent? Yeah, diligent. I was being fairly diligent when it comes to finding the different markings back when I first played. So I found like 8 or 9 of them before I got burnt out. And I was reminded I hadn't gotten the rest of them because after being in the Lightning Temple, Impa's there outside the throne room. And she's like, have you gotten the one that's over in this region? And I'm like, oh, no, I haven't, clearly, because you're reminding me. I'm gonna go do that. And I just kept coming back to her, and when she eventually disappeared, I just checked the map I took a picture of because past me was very smart. And she, even Impa was like, I wish my assistant took a picture of the map. Like, if he had a freaking camera or something, this wouldn't be so hard. Because he can't memorize anything worth a shit. So good news, I'm being smart. I took a picture of it. I mapped out like a general area of where they were, found the rest. So I was able to clear the rest of those out. And unlike the stakes in this game, I did not have to rely on help to find one that was directly above a warp point. I'm a fool. But, did not have to go through that this time, especially because I guess the Zelda equivalent of a crop circle, I guess, caused by dragon tears in this. They're a lot more noticeable. They're a lot more noticeable from a distance. Because they're glowing marks, they're glowing patterns. You can see from halfway across the fucking map. So it's easy to see them. Did not have a problem actually getting them. Especially because the game also just gives you a general outline of where they are. So, like, still. So I have all those dealt with. So it's not a worry at all. But also because I went out of my way and did that early, and supposedly it's possible to do all those without doing any of the temples first. Open world be like that, I guess. It's possible that you see the plot point where Zelda turns into a dragon, and then you get all those points where Zelda supposedly is wandering around and influencing all these events that are going on, these phenomena. And the entire time you just be like, no, she's a dragon? That's not her! So yeah, I still have to do Fire Temple, still have to get the Goron his secret stone, and then, I guess, end game stuff at the castle. But I want to get all that done before I even start Legend ZA, so I'm gonna try my best to beat Tears of the Kingdom before next Thursday when I start playing ZA. And if people remind me, I'll tell you whether or not I succeeded. But if I don't say anything, assume I did, but feel free to ask anyway. But I'm good because I probably will have finished it. It might be close, considering how much I distracted myself originally. Especially once I found out the underground exists. Which I did not know existed because I don't think it was in any of the trailers. Good. But, yeah. That's the whole thing. But I have Fire Temple, I have the end game stuff. I'm probably going to do a few more shrines to get some more heart containers. I'm probably going to look up the best recipes to recover health, because I have been struggling with that, especially the defense front. I found one great fairy, and it was just locked up in a flower and would not come out, and I never figured out what to do with it. And I forget what the problem was, but the great fairy refused to open the flower up, so I could not get an armor boost from it. And I know what those are for, because the game has little, like, loading menu tips, and one was that the great fairies will enhance your armor. And that sure would be nice, because I'm at the point of the game where the bosses are doing, like, 8 hearts, and that's still, like, half of my health. I'm gonna need more defense before the Ganon fight. Definitely. So, help? I'm sure I'll figure something out. Also, the 3 temples I've done, the Lightning Temple is by far my favorite. I remember being really confused trying to do the Wind Temple before I realized you had to kind of talk to the partner again. The bird girl. I forget her name. But you have to talk to the bird, get the bird on your side, then use bird to turn like spin wheels. But you could go around most of that temple without. So I got so confused. I think I might have made that same mistake in the water temple, but I don't think you can do nearly as much. So it was a matter of time. I wised up immediately in the lightning temple. So, like, it's fine. Okay, well, it wasn't immediate. But, like, I did, like, the first little puzzle thing and found another one of those little, like, things where you shock the button, I guess. Shock the thing, and then it activates the thing. Like how you used to enter, like how you enter the temple in the first place. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go get my friend. I need to go get my Gerudo friend. And I did. And as I've just entered the fire temple, I've made sure not to forget that. So the Goron stays with me. Still have not gotten used to launching him over a minecart yet, which is seeming to be a major gimmick of the fire temple, considering all of the rails. But whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying Tears of the Kingdom. I enjoyed it back then until I burned myself out trying to do so much of it. But now I'm focusing a bit more on just trying to finish the game. Maybe do a couple side things in the meantime because I'm gonna need more hearts. And yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty solid. And as someone who has not played Breath of the Wild, this is my first time playing like an open world Zelda like this. And I'm glad it's not the main type of Zelda going forward because holy shit. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is good, and I can see why so many companies are trying to copy the formula and failing to do so. Like, I could see why Pokemon wanted to do more open world stuff for Gen 9. It just needed more time. I still think Scarlet and Violet are fairly decent. The main problem, by far, is the performance issues. And the graphics in turn, I guess. But, like, that's all mainly polished stuff, I guess, at this point. It seems that Legends ZA has learned from what happened here. Because it looks better, it runs smoother. Even on Switch 1, where it locks it to 30, I think. Still an improvement over this. So, like, we're good. Everything's good. So no worries there, no worries there. But, yeah. How much left in the sandwich? A minute, okay. I was able to talk to the first sandwich by myself, hooray! And I haven't even talked much about vacation yet, so I still have all of that to go through. I went to a lot of thrift stores during my vacation time, because I just like doing that sort of thing. And I got some oddities that I want to share with you guys. Okay, not in the way I wish I could. Ooh, buzzer beater. Number 69. Alright, not incrementing the counting. I'm gonna increment it when I evolve them. Number 69. If this is the 3 segment, I swear to God. But, I like to go to thrift stores and flea markets. I've been over this before. I've found some interesting things in my time before. But I found a couple of things I didn't even know existed. During my vacation. It helps that I'm not going in the same, like, 3 areas. It helps when you're like expanding your horizons and going to the complete opposite side of your home state, and just like, there you go. It helps to get variety in your thrifting and flea marketing experience when you go like 4 hours away, you know? It helps. Like, there was one video I saw months ago, and I forget whose video it was. But it was a guy who went to 100 different, like, Goodwills across the country and just cataloged stuff he found. It was mostly video games. Similar kind of deal to me. Mostly video games to him. I tend to go more for, like, DVDs. I enjoy some physical media. Big reason why I'm trying to get Legends CA physically. I'm not immediately going digital and streaming this day one like I probably would have for Violet if I was like actively streaming back then. But you know, I did that for the DLC at least. And no, I'm not getting the DLC immediately. I'm probably gonna wait to get the DLC until after I at least beat the main game, and then I'll probably get it eventually. But I probably will end up seeing all the megas for that, because there are new megas in that, considering Raichu got 2. So. Nature guesses for our new Dudunsparce friends, I'm gonna guess Lax and Quirky. Gentle and Adamant. Damn it. Mark, the Peckish, Hyper Drill, go over Dragon Rush. I do not care. Same with you. Get Hyper Drill. Go over Dragon Rush. There we go. And now we just evolve you. So, number 68. We have a 3 segment. No, 2 segment. And now, number 2, which will be number 69 total. Nope. Unfortunately, not on the funny numbers. That's fine. I'm hoping that if we do get the 3 segment, it will be eventually before it gets too far in. I remember Shiny Catherine, when she did this, it took her 200. And I hope it does not take that long. So, keep that in mind. But, I did find a few things of general note with my thrifting experiences this time. And, next time, I'm definitely going to plan my route a little bit better. Because it was a bit more haphazard with this run. With this vacation, it was a bit more haphazard. With a bit more extra planning, probably could narrow it down to being all in, like, 2 days the week, instead of spreading it out so far and kind of going everywhere. Just gotta get a bit more focus in here. That's kind of the problem with me, just basic lack of planning. I'm a Copite in Pikmin 3. But, did go to plenty of flea markets, their stores. I found one where they had, like, bootleg Kirby figures. And they were fairly decent quality. They were definitely not, like, the official, like, Kirby Cafe ones I think those exist. But they're definitely good enough quality where I can still feel proud of having them. Except the DDD one was kind of goofy. But, like, that's just DDD. So I got a DDD, I got an Ice Kirby, and I got a Cook Kirby. And they're just a little off. There's some, like, painting errors. Little smudges here and there. They can be fixed if I wanted to do that. But they at least look generally correct, and they're only a few dollars each, so like, it's good. It's better than trying to get any sort of official Kirby merch, which is mostly exclusive to Japan, and having to deal with import taxes and tariffs and all that. And they're probably still fairly expensive regardless of that. And I'm not going to Japan anytime soon. So, like, I'll just take these, they're good enough. They still look good enough where I still feel okay with getting them. And plus, Kirby still looks freaking adorable. Even with the ice hat being a little bit offset, I'm not sure I'm able to remove those and, like, realign them properly. I assume I can, because they have, like, little holes in the bottom where you can put them on, like, a figure stand, supposedly. I did not see a figure stand at that flea market, so I don't know. But I'm assuming that means you can also take the hats off for customization. There were more Kirby figures than just those. People are gonna get mad at me for this one. There was a Bandana Waddle Dee one I passed up on. There was a kind of like klutzy Kirby, where he's kind of like laying down a little bit. Kind of was a bit perturbed. Wasn't quite sure about that one. Didn't come with a copy abilities. I'm like, and then there was there was one that was the Carmouth mode from Forgotten Land. Also did not pick that one up. I was tempted to, don't get me wrong, but I narrowed it down to the three I probably wanted the most. Because Ice Kirby I really like the design for. Cook Kirby, specifically with the hat they use in Star Allies and all of the Cafe Kirby material. Definitely wanted to have one of those. And then Dee Dee just looks so goofy. I like Dee Dee a lot. So I got the Dee Dee one. I normally don't go for little figures or merchandise like that, generally. But A, it's not the first time I've done that with Kirby, and B, I could not pass up the opportunity because they were just there, and they were fairly cheap, so you know what, screw it. I got myself the entirety of Simpsons Season 5 with the discs in great condition. I have a few seasons of Simpsons from my thrifting adventures. I think I have all of Season 2. I have all of Season 4, except I think Disc 2 is missing. Because thrift stores sometimes. I figured, considering the thing was like $2, it was still most of the season. I figured it was still fine. So like, I'm filling in my classic Simpsons collection. So, yeah, that's good. I was able to get a new DVD for Cars, because I got Cars 2 and 3 from thrift stores. I grew up with one, but I lost my disc years ago. And I finally found a widescreen copy. Because every single time I've seen it, otherwise it's been full screen, and I don't want it in 4x3. You know? Because that movie came out during that time. It's like, Cars was the last Disney movie, I think, Disney Pixar movie, to be released on VHS, which was always in 4x3 to my knowledge. And then, during that time, when they were transitioning everything over to, like, the 16:9 widescreen HD televisions, DVDs would have full screen and widescreen versions, which is a bit funny because you'd think pan and scan stuff would work regardless, but whatever. I'm not entirely sure how the technology works. Some DVDs were nice where like they'd be double-sided like the 20th Century Fox ones, or maybe there'd be enough on the enough room on the disc for both versions of the movie, so you can just pick one that matches your TV. But or sometimes you'd be lucky and there'd be like a 2-disc version. Like Disney Pixar was really good with that at one point. Where Finding Nemo, disc 1 had the widescreen version, and then disc 2 had like a re-rendered 4x3 version that extended the picture. They did not crop it, which is amazing. You never saw that otherwise. But yeah. My movie collection while growing up was a bit half and half because we just did not seem to care too much about that. Anytime possible, I'll try to fill in the rest of the stuff with the widescreen versions because We live in an age of 16:9 televisions. So I prefer to have the full view, you know? The entire picture, the full movie. I'm not gonna trash my 4x3 DVDs. I'm not gonna trash my DVD copy of Flushed Away from when I was a kid just because it's in 4x3. I still love that movie to bits. But, yeah. If it's a movie I do not have physically, I prefer to get a 16:9 version. Or at least some widescreen version. So that way it's like... I know it was like theatrical, I think it was like 16:10? Maybe a bit wider than that? But like... I'll take the horizontal letterboxing. I'll take the full 16:9 view. 4x3 only because I just have the stuff I have. I'll try not to fill in my collection with 4x3 things unless it's only in 4x3. Like old television shows from like back in the 60s. Because some of those would get re-releases and they're only in 4x3 because of how old they are, so that makes sense. But, I finally got a copy of Cars again after all this time, and it's in widescreen, so that's good. And I have the entirety of the Cars trilogy, as well as a DVD for Mater's Tall Tales. I found that while out and about as well, so I have a little bit of extra stuff. And I remember seeing those shorts on TV a lot growing up. But, I don't even think I knew they had like a DVD for them until now. So I have them on DVD. I don't know if it's all of them. It does not claim to be a volume 1. It says that some of them are new to the DVD, so that they hadn't aired on TV at that point. Maybe they never did air on TV. I don't remember. But, you know, very clearly it was not like a volume 1, volume 2 thing, so maybe it was the full set. There might still be more, I don't know. But I do have a... Wait, pause it. I don't have the disc on me. I'm pretty sure it has like 7 or 8 of the shorts on there. So that's probably most of them. And then I think the original Cars DVD has the Ghostlight short. So that's fun. Talking about DVDs, some DVDs are a bit weird where you have one disc thing standalone with like a second bonus disc, and some you could buy with just the one which mainly just has the main movie and maybe a couple smaller bonus features, and then there'd be a disc 2 with all of the bonus features on it, like Ice Age. There was a 1 disc and a 2 disc version. The 1 disc version had the movie, it had basic config options of like audio and subtitles, had the deleted scenes, had a few of the games on there, little like menu games, and that was it. The 2-disc version, which I grew up with, moves the deleted scenes. No, the deleted scenes were still there, but they had this like nutty movie mode where you could press enter at certain times, it would jump to the deleted scene and then jump right back to the movie. That was cool. But in place of the games, they were moving to the second disc, and I guess that was to make room for the nutty movie mode, because it's only in the 2-disc version, I guess. And the disc 2 had the scratch short. It had what I think is the theatrical short with it, where it's the rabbit who tries to kill a moth, and then she dies, because it's supposed to be this whole thing, like tying into like old age, I guess. It's all mostly metaphorical, but you kind of just tell. And a version of the movie that had like behind the scenes stuff play as well as fun facts. That's how I watched the movie a lot growing up, because I actually lost the first disc for a while. I got it back and it works just fine, so that's good. Yeah, 2-disc versions were something else. And I bring up 20th Century Fox specifically because another strange find I did not know existed, but I found while on a vacation, and it was $1. This was in good condition, so I'm like, there's a little bit of history here that is kind of interesting. I found what I believe to be a Blu-ray exclusive promotional 20th Century Fox demo disc. Like, I'm sure if you've been on the internet long enough and mostly in gaming things, but you've probably heard of PlayStation demo discs. Like, with the PlayStation magazine or some other promotion, you get like a little demo disc that has like a few levels of certain games, a few trailers, and of course with PlayStation they also had like the dinosaur and I think manta ray demos where it was like a little thing where they render those in engine. It was cool. Never experienced one personally because, you know, I was a Nintendo kid, so I never had a PlayStation. One of these days I want to get a PS2 because I keep finding PS2 games in thrift stores and I want to play some of them so bad! But whatever. That's an eventuality, maybe. Not a priority. I think I'd prioritize getting its game wave fixed up. I still have not gotten in touch with anyone to replace the busted capacitor on the thing. And when that's all fixed, I'll be glad to stream what I have in my collection with you guys. So that'll be fun to go through. But besides that, game demo discs were nothing, right? I had no idea that 20th Century Fox, like back in the early days of DVD, did like promotional DVDs in the same vein. It was weird. I get the thing for $1, good disc quality, take it home, I check it out. It is incredibly surreal, because like, it shows you the difference in video between VHS and DVD, including like one of the movies they're advertising on there is like a proper remaster, so you can see the difference between the old VHS master and the new master for the DVD, and the colors are so different. So much more vibrant, it's great. And they have audio with the classic THX optimizer. You'll love to see it. And the most interesting thing in the whole thing, in my eyes, you could check out almost entirely the menus for multiple releases. So like you can check out the menus for Ice Age, Cleopatra. I want to say Moulin Rouge was on there. Is that them? Or was that No. Baton Rouge is the city. That's not that movie. I'm probably remembering it wrong. But a few movies have their nearly full DVD menus on there, and they're just for demonstration purposes. So like, you press play movie, it plays a little animation as if it's playing the movie, and then just right back to the main menu, like nothing happened. And a lot of the options do nothing because like most of the bonus features aren't there. But you can generally explore the menus as if you're watching the actual DVD. There's just a little thing to explore. It's so surreal because like I get it. What else would you really do for a demo on a DVD? But it is so surreal where you get access to the DVD menus, but none of the content that menus actually send you to. And it's so weird because like from what I can tell, the menus themselves are complete because they're copied over from the official releases, right? But like the menu doesn't really do anything. It's so weird to look at a menu and just not do shit with it. It feels so wrong. But at the same time, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool they let you do that, though. And because I checked, on the spine it says Demo Disc 2. So this is not the only time they've done this. There's at least one more demo disc out there. Maybe more after this one. And you can theoretically explore the menus and other releases like that too, and that shit is cool. Like, I've never seen a DVD demo disc, and I never thought that I would ever be able to do anything like that, you know? That shit's funny, you know? Because, like, I'd never heard of this. I brought it up in Wanye's chat when I got home, because he was streaming Ratatouille at that point. I told him about it and told his stream chat about it, and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Because, like, A, it was probably only a thing here in the States, and B, they had never heard of the concept. Because I don't think they had a single thing like that in Europe. To my knowledge. Definitely a smaller thing, if it is. It was already pretty small here, clearly. I have not done any more research into it personally. I can check to see if there's any more demo discs confirmed to exist. And I wish I had a disk drive so I could maybe rip the contents of the disk and check if they're on the Internet Archive or if they're archived anywhere, you know? Because, like, this is DVD history I have in my hands right here, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. But, like, that's cool. That stuff is cool. You know? And archiving bits of DVD history would just be kind of interesting, you know? That's fun. There's one DVD, or like one of a set, I guess, that I've been wanting to find for ages. And it's a personal thing. You guys probably know how much I care about Kirby Right Back at You, to the point where I constantly complain about how D's Masterpieces English dub is currently still not entirely found. Lost media, gasp. Anyway, only about a quarter of the English dub was ever released on DVD. That being, I want to say, the first 12 episodes, a few sporadic episodes in between, and then like the 3 episodes in the Kirby's Dream Collection, one of which is already available everywhere else, because it's the first episode. And then the movie version of the finale arc. So around a quarter of the dub was ever released physically. Another quarter on top of that was digital, but all of those releases are gone because they were proprietary things. Kirby TV and Nintendo Anime Channel are long since gone. They don't work anymore. So those, like 25 episodes, gone. Officially, anyway. And then, like, most of the latter half of the animation has been kind of forgotten. Kind of left to dry. Which is so unfortunate. I want to find one of those DVDs at a thrift store. And usually I try to consider disc condition. I want to make sure the disc works. But I think with Kirby Right Back at Ya, I'd make an exception. Just to have it at all. You know? Just to have it at all. And I have seen some very, like, I don't know if rare is the right word for it, but considering I found a fucking demo disc for DVDs, a DVD demo disc, which comes, I have not mentioned this, it comes with like a full glossary of terms for DVDs you can read through, and it's like a really expansive read too. They go in crazy detail. I'm just like, if I can find that, I can find Kirby Right Back at You on DVD. And I'd rather not get anything off of eBay with it because, like, online shopping can be a bit hit or miss. I've had some strange instances with it in the past. So I'd rather just be in the store, see it personally, check it myself, you know? So, like, we've had a few instances with online shopping in this family where things do not quite work out. So, plus apparently there's like a bootleg box set for Right Back at You out there where it's like supposedly all 100 episodes, but it's definitely our archive for it. And it has like fan art of Shadow Dedede, which did not exist. It's oddly stylized after Amazing Mirror. Mostly, it's very much not official. I'm not getting that. Because that would be stupid. So, like, I want to track down, personally, one of the official DVDs for Right Back at You. That would be, like, my my crown jewel, I guess, at this point. Because at this point, I have found some strange oddities. Like, I will personally go out of my way to get, like, DVD games. One of which we'll talk about in a second here as well. DVD games I tend to prioritize as well. It's like Deal or No Deal or Seen It. I try to somewhat prioritize those. I try to prioritize movies I had on VHS as a kid, but most of those were all sold off in garage sales. Trying to build that collection back up again. I want to prioritize shows, like filling in like Simpsons seasons from early on, filling in. I got a box set of seasons 4 through 6 of The Office from my uncle, so I guess I better keep my eyes open for the first 3. I don't know if 4 through 6 is the last seasons of the original Office. I don't even know what to... Is The Office that we know from the memes a reboot? And I know they're making a sequel series now. I don't know if The Office that we know is a sequel or a reboot or something. I feel like I heard that it was. But The Office that we know. I have seasons 4 through 6 of it. I want to go and get the rest as well. I found some DVDs with the full second season of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, and it has Mr. Peabody and Sherman on the cover, so that makes me happy because I like that movie. I like watching Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Licensing issues mean there's not on MeTV Tunes anymore, and I'm sad, but you know, I have a solid chunk of the series physically now. I can watch it. I can watch that again. It's nice to see. It's like big series things that I'm interested in, and like trying to fill in the gaps. Like that would be great. And I guess keeping my eyes open for more Game Wave things, because I found a Game Wave in the wild, was stupid, and didn't pick it up then. So I didn't get the actual console, probably got resold. Got the games that were on the shelf, though, because they were left behind, oddly enough. And then, you know, I said the online shopping thing sometimes doesn't work out. Mom bought one, gave it to me as a little gift. Said it was working, but the password I guess blew during shipping. Doesn't work. I gotta work on fixing that. And it was very clearly primarily used as a DVD player, considering one of the remotes is missing. Not that it matters. Probably not gonna be able to convince too many people to play anyway, and I could probably maybe someday get at least the purple and orange remotes that get a couple more players in there just in case. I don't know. Doesn't matter too much. But it also came with a sealed copy of the pack-in game, which is something that that blatantly means they got this thing as a cheap DVD player, supposedly. They only use it for that, I guess. Unless they resealed the game, which I feel like that would take a lot more effort to do than they would really think of doing, considering one of the runs is still missing. So, yeah, like filling in the rest of the Game Wave collection and maybe getting some remotes for it would be great as well, but that's not a priority either. Well, it's a priority, but I don't really see it too often. But like a Kirby Right Back At You DVD, like that right there, man. I would feel like my mission would be complete as a guy in a thrift store if I found a copy of that, of any of those. And there's like 5 or 6 different ones, you know? Imagine, like, I've seen a lot of like imported stuff show up in flea markets as well. Like, at one point I saw like a few like Chinese versions of movies. Like I saw like a Chinese version of Smurfs 2 show up at a flea market once, and that was surreal. Obviously didn't get it because it probably would not run in my player. There's like region lock is a thing. But like, I'd also think it'd be kind of funny to have the Blu-ray set for Kirby anime as well. I wouldn't necessarily count that despite the fact that it has the first episode of the English dub on there. But that'd also be kind of a funny thing to have as well. Assuming all the discs are still there and everything. Then again, you know, import fees, the tariffs. It's not easy to get that sort of stuff. I don't know why people would sell it off. Then again, I have seen a lot of, like, Japanese versions of, like, SNES and N64 games in flea markets, so you never know. You never know. Bringing the topic back to DVD games specifically, I did find one that I've never heard of. And unfortunately, it does not have the cards with it, but I'm assuming those are mainly scorecards? I could be wrong. It's a DVD game called 1 vs. 100. It's a similar thing like most things on DVD where it's a trivia game. But it's you against 100, in this case, virtual players. All controlled by the DVD, and, you know, probably when you get a question right, like 10 of them drop out, or whatever. It's very basic, I suppose. But you're up against a group of people called the Mob, they call it. And you gotta try to outlast them. It's like a sort of battle royale type thing, but the battle royale's sort of separate. It's kind of hard to describe the idea. Like, yeah, kind of imagine playing, like, Tetris 99, but instead of playing Tetris 99, you're playing an original version of Tetris, while a game of Tetris 99 is going on in the background. You gotta see if you can survive longer than Tetris 99. That, I think, is the idea. To explain it in a really stupid way that probably confuse more people anyway. And, like, you can like, ask for hints from people in the mob directly for some reason. Even though it's supposed to be the enemy team, so I'm willing to bet there's some sort of sabotage element to it. I have no idea if this is based on an actual game show. It was released by Mattel, and the host of it is Bob Saget. And when I brought it up to Wani in his stream today, he pronounced it Bob Saget, because he thought the name was French, and it was so funny. But, it was $1, and I'm like, you know what? Never heard of this. This is in good condition. I'm collecting DVD games. Screw it. So, I'll probably, load that DVD up, after streaming tonight, honestly. Because the more I've been thinking about it, I have not been watching, I've not checked out most of the DVDs I brought home yet. So I wanted to check out that 20th Century Fox demo DVD somewhat immediately. And then I, you know, wanted to get back to Tears of the Kingdom and all that. But I probably will load up that 1 vs. 100 DVD some point after stream tonight. Probably after I eat supper. Just to kind of experiment with it. I'm hoping the cards I don't have aren't super integral. That's the one thing I'm worried about. It did not come with the cards. It's supposed to have cards in it. I'm hoping it's like Deal or No Deal, where there's scorecards, so you can kind of, like, keep track yourself. Because, like, if that's the case, the DVD already does that, so I don't need to do that. So at that point, there's, like, no point to those cards. So they're not super important. So I'm hoping they're not super integral. I'm hoping it's more of a case like Deal or No Deal, and less of a case like Seen It, where the board and the cards are integral. But given the fact that this thing was in a basic jewel case, not even jewel case, I don't think. Is jewel case just a general term for, like, a disc case, or is that like the square ones that PS1 games were in, that kind of like CD case? I don't know. Like, it was in a typical DVD box, and the cards would be like little inserts in there because they showed they showed on the back of the box what it's supposed to look like. But, like, I'm hoping it's just scorecards. If not, I'll see if I can figure out some sort of solution. Because I'm willing to bet because it was a Mattel thing, it's probably some archive of something online of it. So, you know, maybe I can find, like, pictures of the cards. if they aren't scorecards. Again, the Deal or No Deal ones are scorecards. Family Feud ones I have, they're scorecards. So, like, they might just be scorecards. I wouldn't be surprised. If they're not, though, then I'll figure something out. But, like, this is more of an exploration thing, if anything. Just a neat little thing I never heard of. And I've looked up stuff about DVD games in the past. I've watched plenty of the walkthroughs of DVD games. I've watched plenty of AB on DVD. That channel's great. There's a lot of YouTube poop stuff as well, but a lot of the videos on their channel are like sort of deconstructions of DVD games, where they show every possible menu configuration, including like the looping bits with the music. And then after they show off literally every possible screen on the DVD menu, I mean, you could possibly reconstruct the game yourself, which is honestly kind of cool. After that, they do like a proper, like, casual playthrough themselves, so you can get a basic idea of how the game's supposed to work outside of the sort of data mined feel of the main video. And I think that shit's really cool. It's like a deep dive. Really getting to experience the whole game. And it's actually pretty neat. And there's one based on what's in their personal collection. They do take requests, but they don't have everything. And they don't have this. I've seen plenty of videos of other DVD games. I think they were more of a thing in Europe because, like, there's one for Bullseye, which is like a dart throwing game, which I think was only a thing in Europe. It was like a UK thing. So I think DVD games were more of a thing in Europe. Not as big here. Maybe. I can't say for sure. Maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions here. But in my time, if I just type in DVD games, this has never come up for me. So this is a brand new experience for me. And apparently no one's ever heard of this. If Wanye's chat is to be believed. But to be fair, I'm asking people halfway across the globe generally for that. Maybe I'll share it in some other Discord servers where it's more of a global reach. And maybe we'll see if anyone else has ever heard of it. I'm willing to bet the answer will generally be no. This probably didn't sell well. But I have a copy of it, and I think it's fun. Nature guess for number 70. Let's go with Impish. Hasty, damn it. One letter off. One letter off in the alphabet. I guessed an I and it gave me an H. Damn it. Alright, Hyperdrill. I don't think I had a mark. Okay, not potion. Rare candy. Now we have number 70. Are you our legendary 3-segment? Or not? But I tried. I think I'll do one more sandwich tonight, unless Vic shows up, then I'll probably do another one after that. Outside of thrifting, mainly going to watch some of the shows in Branson. It's a very, very good place for that. Some of the shows we normally go to are ones that Mom would normally go to. They sold out for like weeks, and like next few weeks they're out of tickets. Like, Jesus, it's kind of crazy. Cause like we're in the off season. Most of the tourism stuff has died down because, you know, this is the point when the family can't make time to take full-on week-long trips anymore. Cause like the kiddos are off back to school. The adults probably don't have any vacation time left, and you know, maybe you get some, but it's generally off season. Things close earlier. There's not as many show times, I guess, but like even then, things are still booked weeks ahead of time. It's crazy. Like you know those jokes in shows where they try to get a reservation for a restaurant and they're booked for like 6 months in advance. It almost feels like that. It almost feels like that, man. It's crazy. But we watched some different things this time in comparison to what we normally do, and it was fun. It was good. I went to a few new restaurants we hadn't been to before. Played a few runs of mini golf. I suck at mini golf, I guess. I could have sworn I was better at it, but it's not even a case of me being really rusty because I don't really play that often regardless. I mainly only play it when we go on vacation to Branson, so like, who cares? Yeah, those are generally like pleasant experiences. I sucked at mini golf. Took in more of the sights and sounds. Ironically, not at Sight and Sound. Took in more of the sights and sounds I normally would on a Branson trip. Had to do some forced variety because of the off-season and still things being incredibly booked for some reason. But, whatever. So yeah, it was generally a pleasant experience. I'll say that much. So the vacation itself, mostly, was a lot of the same, like, similar things we normally do though. So we went down to the landing a lot. We rode on the trolley around. We had to make sure we had to go to the Hard Luck Cafe, I believe it's called, where all of the waiters and waitresses always sing to you. And that place is usually pretty busy. Godfather's Pizza, we used to have one back at home, but it was one of those to-go places to the gas station. Not nearly as good. Got some for home. It's good pizza. Probably my favorite. Ah, there's so many giraffes! Move. Move. Yeah, generally a good time. I talked more about the DVD stuff because we put more of the thrifting in our schedule because things got reshuffled around and we couldn't do certain things because of the off season, and again, things still being booked way further in advance than usual, so we kind of scramble to fill in space, I guess. Basic lack of planning. We can do plan A's, we cannot do plan B's. But because a lot of it wasn't too dissimilar, but because the thrifting thing had more of a focus, it was mainly a lot more interesting generally in terms of what came out of it. Ooh, shiny array. Like, you know. Like when you go to a place like Branson, like of course you're gonna go see some of those shows. And I'll praise them. Like I went to the Hughes family. What do they call it? It's not the Hughes family show, is it? It's like this family of 4 brothers, their wives, and all of their children. And there's like a not all of them. Not even the full family. Like some of the wives, some of the kids didn't want to get involved, I guess. But even still, there's like just with their families, I saw like 30 or 40 people in charge of this whole thing, and it's crazy. It's like, wow. Mom won a CD of their Christmas show because they did like a giveaway thing during the intermission, and like you would scan a QR code and put in your name and such, and you could put in a drawing, and we had a copy of their Christmas CD. So that's pretty neat. Mom kept trying to insist that I sign up for it too, to put my name in the raffle, but I didn't do it because I know my luck. And I'm glad I didn't, because the RNG would have definitely been off and we wouldn't have gotten that CD. So, you know, sometimes just better not to get involved. I made up for it, though, because we went to an arcade in the landing. And I actually tried my hand at a claw machine for the first time in a while. Took a little bit of effort, I guess, because Claw machines are rigged. They loosen up their grip and purposely drop shit even when you grab it directly in the center. It's annoying. But after enough brute force, aka chucking $19 at the problem, I came home with a Sonic Plushmallow. So I actually won something from a claw machine. We went there hoping that they'd still have their world's largest Pac-Man cabinet, but it's not there anymore. I guess they switch games out every so often, and unfortunately Pac-Man had to take his leave. They did have the large Space Invaders cabinet, though. So that's fun. But, would have been really great to play World's Largest Pac-Man with this big Pac-Man resurgence going on. Considering that Pac-Man World 2 got a remake recently, it only makes sense. Plus, it's classic Pac-Man. My family at least know how Pac-Man works, and they're not generally the gaming type, so they wouldn't be good at it. I'm still better at Pac-Man than them. I'm not some master or anything, but you know, you know how it is. That's why I was actually so glad to even get a Game Wave at all, even if it doesn't work right now. Because if we can get it fixed up into working condition again, then that would be a great casual option for the family, because the Game Wave, with its very limited library, is a lot more casual, you know? One of the games is straight up Sudoku. And it's like super chill, it has this like Japanese aesthetic to it. And it's really calming music. It'd be great if I could play. I've seen videos. It'd be great if I could play it myself. I'd love to play it for stream, but I can't because my Game Wave is busted. Because it was made during the fucking capacitor shortage bullshit in the 2000s. It's the same reason why the capacitors in old Xbox would just burst on occasion, you know? Same reason why those don't work right. You know? With an Xbox, I think those capacitors are mainly in charge of the clock, so as long as the capacitor breaking doesn't disturb anything else, then you're still good. Just take it out, you're fine. Just kind of have to keep the thing plugged in if you want to keep the clock. With the Game Wave, it won't boot without it, so I'll have to definitely get it fixed. And I don't know how to do any sort of, like, soldering stuff. My uncle supposedly does, but he's been away at Colorado for a while. We just have not been in touch with him. So, we'll work that out eventually. And I know we will. But, yeah. And other than that, what else did I find at the stores recently? Finally got a copy of A Bug's Life on DVD. I watched it on VHS a lot at my grandma's house, but never had a copy of the movie myself. And now I do. Closest thing I had was Ratatouille, where the Your Friend the Rat short had a little scene of the flea dancing around. I'm in need of your assistance. Oh. It had that bit in there. That's the closest I ever had to having A Bug's Life at home, and now I do. And I'm glad. I'm glad I revisit that movie again. I remember it being glorious. With the Rocky and Bullwinkle season, I also got a few DVDs of Underdog, which is airing on MeTV Tunes, but it's also, I think, from the same company, so I don't know if that license will ever have issues. And if it does, I at least have a few episodes on DVD. I want to say, like, they combine the different parts into one particular episode, in a way. So, like, the way the episodes work would be, like, one episode would have 2 parts of Underdog, which may not necessarily be a full storyline, and then a few segments of other things. Very similar format to Rocky and Bullwinkle. The way the DVDs are formatted, all of the parts of Underdog, they keep that in mind. So, like, one episode of Underdog would have, like, all 4 parts in a certain episode, as well as stuff in between. So it's the full episodes, mind you, but they batch them together. So they classify it as 3 episodes on a disc, even though it's definitely more than that. But like, we're still talking between 2 DVDs at least like 6 hours, roughly. So it's still a solid chunk of Underdog. There's definitely more out there, and I wouldn't mind trying to track down the DVDs for it. I do enjoy those old shows. These are the type of shows that are on in the days of like my mom being young, I think. Like, these shows are old. So it might be nostalgic for the family as well. I wonder if my family remembers. I'd have to ask, honestly. What else? Oh yeah! I have a copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings now. The only Sonic game I had for Wii before, unless you count Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, was Sonic Colors. And I'd wanted to get the storybook games for a while, and obviously online stuff, not gonna cut it. And they've never been re-released, and I understand. And I find a copy of Secret Rings in the flea market. $14, and there's a big scratch in the back of the disc. I'm not paying that much for a game I can't even guarantee is going to work because of its condition. A couple days later, we go to another flea market, and there's another copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings for $12 this time, in perfect condition, or damn near perfect. So it's better condition and it's cheaper. And it's the second time ever I've seen a copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings during my times thrifting going to a flea market. It's destiny, I tell you. So now I have a copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings. 7 rings in hand. The main game sucks ass because it's a motion controlled nightmare, but I hear the party mode's fairly solid. So you know what? I'm game. I'm game. Plus, I want to experience how bad it is, and it might make for a funny stream or two down the line. You know? It might make for a funny stream or two down the line. Anyway, the most interesting fun games. We talked about 1 to 100, talked about the demo disc. Talked about Cars. Talked about the Kirby stuff. I guess that's kind of it for this trip. I could have sworn I got more. Well, maybe I didn't. But, yeah, I highly recommend, if you don't do so already, to check out your local flea markets and thrift stores, because you never know what you might find. I got a copy of Rabbids Go Home, I think for like $2 at a flea market. So, you know, you could find some gold. In the metaphorical sense, though some flea markets do have jewelry cases, so, you know, maybe you will find some actual gold. Not likely, though, but, you know, maybe. I have seen things at thrift stores and flea markets. Flea markets especially. The thrift stores tend to be more organized. The DVDs are all in one section, clothing has a whole section. They're organized, it's a proper store, right? With flea markets, you rent out a stall. You just gotta put whatever in that stall, right? So, like, instead of one dedicated DVD section, you might have, like, a small shelf within this stall with DVDs in it. Unless you purposely rent out a stall specifically to have, like, this giant shelf of DVDs. Like one of the places I went to when I was on vacation. And, they had, like a shelf, like, 3 walls were all wall shelves. And then there was a shelf in the middle of the thing, front and back, with DVDs. And they were all, like, it was full, all stacked up and everything, and it was nuts how much there was there. And, I want to say they dedicated most of the very top row to having, I forget the name of the movie. I did not pick a copy of it. But it was like one movie, and there was like 30 copies of the same movie just lining on the top shelf, and it was funny. It was really funny. I think that was even the same stall where I got the demo disc, actually, so... You know, when you have that high of a concentration of DVDs, you're bound to find something eventually. It's, it's kind of like playing, like, Pokemon TCG Pocket. Like, if you open one pack, you're probably not going to get too much. But if you open a 10-pack, you get 50 cards at once, you're probably going to see a rare in there somewhere. Just from sheer number. So, like, you know. But in all seriousness, check out your flea markets and your thrift stores, because you never know. You never know what you might find. Because, you can find some good shit there. Or just some shit, but it's really funny, and it's like $2, so, like, take it. It's fine. Like, you can pay $2 for something you're probably only gonna, like, look at once. It's worth it. Just a little thing that piqued your interest, a little curiosity. Probably not gonna mess with it ever again. It's kind of funny. Yeah. I will always encourage people to check out their stores and flea markets, because you find some good stuff there. Though granted, sometimes the prices can be a little bit outrageous. Because with flea markets, they're in, like, the people who rent out the stalls, the different areas, they're in charge of the pricing. So they might just price things stupid. Like, again, a used copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings with a big scratch in the back of it for $14. That's probably worth $5. Some people might say the copy I got that was in pretty good condition for $12. That might be too much, but, you know, at least I can fairly guarantee that it works, unlike the other one. So, there's that, at least. There's that. Like, when I was thrifting, I found a copy of Link's Crossbow Training months ago. So, that's a funny little thing that happened. I saw a copy of Crash Team Racing. Like, that's a possibility as well. I've seen like 2 copies of Ratatouille for PS2, and I wish I had a PS2 so I could speedrun it with Wanye. He speedruns the PC version, but, you know, if I get a PS2, I can just play the PS2 version. Not have to deal with all the setup of trying to get Rat's Cook game running on modern PCs, because that's a pain in the ass. And of course, that means I can fill in more stuff in the PS2 library and experience that part of gaming that I really just never have, ever. So I can get games for PS1 and PS2. That'd be freaking sweet, you know? Thinking about experience games I never really got a chance to because, you know, grew up with Nintendo stuff, and it shows. I mean, hey, it's good that I stuck with Nintendo even after all their garbage, because Xbox is basically just giving up, and Sony, I don't even know what they're doing. Let's make a console, but give it like 3 exclusives ever, and then make a new one. What are they doing? I mean, not to mention the fact that all of these companies are just trying to copy Nintendo, because like the Switch did so well, so PlayStation trying to do Portal. The Xbox is doing the Ally X thing, which... You know, it's funny. The Switch 2 got criticized because of its pricing. But the Xbox Portable costs like twice as much, and it's not a problem, oddly enough. Strange. I know they're not really comparable. They're not the same by any means, but like, IGN will give a 7 to the Switch 2 and complain about the price of the thing. But IGN will give a 9 to the Xbox Ally, despite the fact that it costs so much more. And it's not even a concern to them. Do I sense some hypocrisy in games journalism? Some anti-Nintendo bias? But don't get me wrong, some of it is deserved. I think Nintendo's a bit harsh when it comes to copyright, but like... Dude, there's inherent bias against them. For some fucking reason. like Xbox and PlayStation have done some shitty things too, and they're not acknowledged nearly as much. There's not as much of an outcry. Kind of weird how that works. Anyway. So, yeah. Go thrifting. Go to flea markets. Find things you never thought were possible to exist in this world. Like a demo DVD. It is so baffling. Oh, there's one thing about that DVD I forgot to bring up, and it's honestly one of the best parts. There's a section in audio that's dedicated solely to Spanish. You click it, you think, oh, it's good, just swap to Spanish and play the movie stuff in Spanish to show off that. No, it has like a full, proper Spanish intro dedicated to, now you can watch all your favorite movies in Spanish. And then it gives me a whole new selection that wasn't in the English one. Like, whoa! Like, you're hyping up the fact that DVDs can play movies in Spanish. Like, it's this super epic thing before, and it's so funny to me. Man! That's the kind of personality I wish was on modern physical media, but like ever since the Blu-ray came out, they just sort of gave up on that. All the personality and charm is gone. I hate it. Where's all the bonus features? Where are the funny little games and Easter eggs? Where's the behind-the-scenes stuff? Why is it all one menu that's so basic and boring and just looks the same like 10 seconds of the movie, and they're just kind of there at the bottom being like, play the movie if you want, I guess. Like, I will openly mock Inside Out 2 for its DVD being garbage, because Disney's Fast Play exists, and I get the idea behind it. It was meant to be a thing to help transition people from VHS to DVD. And Fast Play, it basically just makes it play like a VHS. It plays the trailers, it plays the movie, it plays a little bit of the bonus features at the end. Like, I have a Monsters, Inc. VHS. It starts with the trailers, then plays the movie, then plays Mike's new car. So Disney's Fast Play is just an alternative to the VHS style of watching movies, right? It's just basically watching the movie as if you're on a VHS, but with a DVD. That's kind of all it is. We mock it to death, but that's basically what it is. Right? Inside Out 2 on DVD. Fast Play wouldn't do shit because there are no bonus features on that disc. It is just the movie, scene selection, setup, and Fast Play. That's it. There's no point to it. There might be trailers at the start, but normally on DVDs for Disney, you can watch the trailers and then some on like a sneak peeks menu. That's not on there. It's just basically the movie, and that's it. What the hell is the point of Fast Play? If you're not gonna have the extra material in there, and what's the point of the autoplay? Not to mention, this is a DVD that came out, like, this decade, I think. Inside Out 2 was, like, 2 years ago, right? So, like, people know how DVDs work by now. You don't have to ease them in anymore. Fast Play has no point! Fast Play's not even on the Blu-rays! Fast Play was retired! It's a legacy thing on the DVDs now. There's no point to it anymore. You're not gonna put the bonus features on it at minimum. So what are you doing, Disney? What are you doing? You're crazy. What is the point? Oh well. Still better than streaming, I guess. Where you know, either rely on your internet connection. Movies might disappear after a while because licensing's a thing. Constant price increase instead of a one-time purchase. It's a problem. I think the streaming bubble is about to burst because there are so many companies doing streaming services, and they're all constantly raising their prices and making the whole thing freaking shitty. And it was fine when it was just Netflix. It was okay when it was like the big three with Netflix, Hulu, and I think Amazon, with Amazon Prime. Now every single company has to have their own separate streaming site, and it's an absolute fucking mess. It's an absolute disaster, man. It's just too much. You want to have all the same stuff you had on Netflix back in, like, 2009, I guess? I think it was around back then. I think they did the streaming thing at that point, because Netflix used to be a DVD rental thing. But you want to have all the stuff that was on Netflix back then, you have to pay, like, $100, and that might not even have everything anymore. You know? It's stupid. And that price is gonna keep going up. I feel like I can't go a single month without seeing something on my Twitter feed being like, streaming is increasing its price by $3 a month. Jesus Christ, man. Even to the point where, like, I swear it's like $20 a month. For like Disney, I think. For the ad package. There's an adless version, but you have to pay even more for it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb! What's the point? Guys! What are you doing? I don't like streaming services. I wouldn't say the idea is even that bad. It's like a more convenient thing, but if it costs that fucking much, like, that convenience factor is just not there anymore because you're paying so much for it. And at a time where the economy is a bit on the shaky side, and that's a good way of putting it. Just no. No. Streaming sucks, man. I like physical media. Do I need to keep talking about how much I like physical media? Do you know how satisfying it is to get a movie or a game and you get this disc, this shiny disc? You get to admire that for a while. You put it in your disc tray, you slide on in, and it goes. And then it plays your thing. You don't need to be on the internet for it because it's already all there. I miss those days, man. I miss those days. They weren't even that long ago. I'm talking like a freaking boomer over here. It wasn't even that long ago. Man. Physical media is something I will always be appreciative of. Another reason why I like going to flea markets and thrift stores, just being able to own things. Because it's mine. They can't really tamper with it. I get to do what I want with it. It's mine. A lot of that is just kind of lost today. And that's really sad. It's really sad. 2 minutes a sandwich. So, like, yeah, I'll be honest, like, I hope there's some major renaissance with physical media at some point. And I feel like we're kind of there, but not really. It definitely feels more like a fad right now. Because, like, they brought vinyl back. Like a novelty thing, I guess. Starting like a decade ago. Yeah, it's just so weird to me. But, like, can we make DVDs cool again? With all the personality and Easter eggs and interactive stuff on it. Remember when... Remember back when DVDs were new, when interactive menus was a selling point? Can we go back to that, please? DVDs used to be fun. Now we can't even guarantee we own the things we watch anymore. It's just sad now. Plus the discs are so shiny. I like shiny. Look, I have over 70 shiny Dudunsparce. That should tell you how much I like shiny. I feel like we have a discussion like this every time I do. I feel like it's like the 3 subjects I always find myself talking about during Dudunsparce. Physical media like DVDs, talking about Nintendo in general. I tend to get bored out of my mind because I shouldn't be doing 2 of these in a row unless they're a week apart like this. I feel like I talk about a lot of the same subjects every single time I do this, and I don't really mean to, I guess, but ooh, buzzer beater again, nice. Like, it's just kind of what happens. It's kind of just what happens after a while, you know? Especially during those days where chat's a little slow. You don't have someone to kind of like bounce off of, I guess. And there's no like communication, you kind of have something to stall for yourself. And sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes. You're trying to come up with conversations on your own. And I guess that's why I kind of fall back to all the same stuff. Cause like, this is what I know about. This is the stuff I know about, I'm aware of. I'm online all the time with like these certain topics. So like, of course stuff like streaming is going to be on my feed all the time. Of course the new game that just came out is going to be talked about a lot. Like, it almost kind of loops back around eventually, I guess. It's just kind of what happens. Just kind of the nature of things, I suppose. There's nothing really wrong with that, I guess. But I just don't want all these to feel too samey. Even if in terms of gameplay they do feel pretty samey, because it's just me going around in like a solid loop, doing the same thing like 3 or 4 times in one go. Like, even if it is kind of samey in that regard, like I don't want it to feel too samey. But I talk about a lot of the same things, and it's just kind of, I guess it might be kind of tedious. But then again, I get to talk about new things in those things. It's like 1 versus 100. You've probably never heard of that. Open your eyes to the new things this world has to offer. New things from, I have the case here, new things from 2007. Anyway, speaking of new, we have 4 new shiny Dudunsparces to look through, and I'm going to do some nature guesses here. Let's guess. Bold, another adamant. Let's try quirky again, and timid. Docile, hasty, hardy, serious. None of them. But I got a dusk mark. Dudunsparce the Dozy. I think that's a new mark for me. I could be wrong. This is a bit of an odd question. Does the dusk mark to you kind of look like a hamburger with a really big top bun and everything else is super thin for no reason? Alternatively, it could be a bowler hat with an underline. Oh, man. Anytime I think of bowler hats, I always think of Meet the Robinsons. Peak movie, by the way. You are now under my control. I am now under your control. Stop laughing. It's such a good movie. I'm sad it didn't do very well. It really should have. It's so good. I'm glad people have come to an appreciation of it in the last, like, I don't know, like, decade or so. That movie deserves so much better. Anyway, That's rare. Oh, I forgot to change the moves. I was too distracted. You gotta have Hyper Drill them or they won't evolve because they're that picky about it. You gotta make sure you know what you're doing. And sometimes I don't because I'm really bad at this apparently. I get distracted making references to Meet the Robinsons and I can't Dunsparce correctly. I'm too busy making references to Meet the Robinsons, I just can't Dunsparce. You know that feeling when you just can't Dunsparce? You fuck it, we'll press coil on you because I'm not paying attention. Screw it. Imagine if this is the one that becomes the 3 segment. Anyway, for real this time though, let's put some rare candies on these guys. Not you! Greedy worm. Alright. Number 71. Will you be the 3 segment? No! That's okay, we still have 3 more. Rare candy for number 2. So we're 72. Will you be the one with 3 segments? Let's see, we'll check you're not. I mean, technically, I guess Dunsparce, like the Dunsparce normally has 4 segments because there's the tail, the 2 segments in the middle, and the head. So a 3 segment would really be a 5 segment because there'd be 3 in the middle. Technicalities are fun. Alright, number 3. Alright. This will be number 73. No. Hang on a second. I have never noticed this about the Dunsparce, and now I'm looking at it. I'm surprised I never have. I'm gonna zoom in here. You might see it already. But the front wings here are the same as they were normally. There's like the big feather area, and there's like a little one sprouting off of that. The back ones just have the one, like the one big one. They're not as developed, I guess. Which makes me wonder what the 3 segment looks like in that regard. Is it like 1, 2, 3? I don't know. We'll find out eventually, I guess, if we keep doing more of these. I'm never going to unsee that now. Because if we go and check number 74 here, you can see the normal wings here in the front, where it has the 2 little segments, I guess. Then when I get 2 segments, I guess like another set in the back that aren't as detailed. See? I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. Also, no 3 segments. Let's put you in the boxes. Probably start clearing out boxes again because I'm just about half a box free. And also, I've had these eggs for a while, and I think I've had the eggs because I was doing stuff in the DLC to grind for points. Trying to get the apricot balls, apricorn, the Gen 2 balls that were super rare. And there are some tasks in there where it's like you gotta hatch an egg to get like 500 points. And I just kind of stopped doing that. I don't know. I have no idea what's in those eggs. So you know what? We have a few minutes left. Let's just ride around and hatch those eggs. So I don't want to do another sandwich right now. So I figured, why not? Why not just drive around town here, just hatch a couple eggs? That sounds like a fun way to end the stream, right? And plus it won't be freaking silent. So, yeah. As we wrap up here, though. Tomorrow... Oh! I was that close! I was that close with the eggs. What's in these things? I've had these eggs for months. What's in this thing? Sandile! Aww! I like Sandile a lot. Look at him. You know how I say Totodile's in that group of Pokemon that has this, like a Stitch voice in my head? It's mostly like lizard Pokemon like this one. Totodile, Sandile, um, Fuecoco. It's mostly guys like that. They're kind of like alligators and crocodiles. It's mostly that group. I can also kind of see it for Sableye as well for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because Sableye has kind of that gremlin energy, you know. That could just be me, but whatever. Is this also a Sandile? No, it's a Girafarex. I think I know what happened here. I think I was just catching random things for the sake of doing those challenges, like I said. And then, for like hatch an egg task, I would just start a picnic with whatever was in my party, with a Ditto up front, leave the game running for a while, and just get a few eggs. And then, there you go. So, I just randomly had like a Sandile, a Girafarex just in my party at that point. So, that explains a few things. But, yeah, that's gonna be it. So, that's gonna be it for our adventures here in Paldea for the time being. Probably won't be seeing any more of this for a while. Tomorrow, as promised before, I'll be playing through Kirby's Dream Land for the original Game Boy, because I think that's on NSO right now. And I think I'm going to be able to get both the normal mode and the extra mode in at the same time. So we should be able to play through the whole game twice. I don't think Kirby's Dream Land is that long, even on the harder difficulty. We'll see. And then, assuming all goes well and I'm able to pick up a copy this weekend, I will get a chance to join in the fun and play Legends ZA with you guys. Start our adventure in Lumino City, I believe. I think I talked about this already. Maybe I didn't. I definitely have it on stream here. Maybe did I talk about this on the stream? I don't think I did. Lumino City is apparently one model in the game, which is weird. Optimization in a Pokemon game, what's that? And the game still runs better than Scarlet and Violet anyway, so honestly, do I really care that much? Do I really care that much? No, I don't. I really don't. You know what, while I'm at it, I'm gonna put you two in a box somewhere. Maybe at some point I'll give them names and trade them out. But, probably not anytime soon. I'll probably forget about them. Here, box 2. With these guys I also got randomly from, like, Wonder Trades, I think. And the this Japanese Gulpin. Next in blue. But, yeah, while the game is loaded, I'm gonna go and get Iron Valiant. Get that all sorted out. And then, we'll close this game for quite some time. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna miss it, but, you know. Legends ZA is gonna be a big deal. And judging from what I have seen, it is. It is very much a big deal. So, we're gonna say our goodbyes here to Scarlet and Violet. I'm hoping I can get a copy over the weekend. If I can't, well, I'm probably gonna be able to, because like, Pokemon may be the biggest franchise in the world, but I'm pretty sure they'd account for that. So we'll see if I can get my hands on a copy. If not, I'll figure something out. You know, we might come back to this if things go that sour, but I'll figure something out. So with that, that's going to be an end for me. And we're on time, too. I'm just at 2 hours. So tomorrow will be Kirby's Dream Land. No, I did just save. I'm going to check. I'm going to check right now. So I did just save the game. Is Kirby's Dream Land here? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Yep, there it is, right there. Next time, probably 2 runs of this. This is what you have to look forward to, guys. This is what you have to look forward to. Go me. I'll see you tomorrow for Kirby. Good old Kirby. We love Kirby in this household. He's our boy. Yeah, anyway, have a good night, everyone.